Welcome to another edition of Islanders Insider. I'm Stephen King, coming to you from the press box here at Chapman Field on the campus at Texas A&M University Corpus Christi. Today we're going to talk some Islander men's tennis with head coach Steve Moore and Islander softball with head coach Stephanie Hughes. As we get things rolling, let's talk to the head coach, Steve Moore. How you doing, sir?
How are you, man?
Doing great, doing great. Congratulations on another tremendously successful season as your men's program won the regular season title for the 8th straight season and is now advancing to the to the NCAA tournament for the 3rd straight. It's one thing to ask anyone else, but I'm asking you directly. When you came back here to coach, did you think it was even remotely possible to win 8 straight conference championships?
No, absolutely not. I thought each year would be very difficult, and that's the interesting thing is that each year has been a grind. Each year has had their challenges. It's, the good thing about tennis is with 6 singles, you don't get a lot of upsets. And so in that moment of the conference tournament, and let me say one thing, if the conference tournament was in February, this would have never happened. Just the fact that it's in late April, in hot, windy conditions, I feel like our team has been extremely tough in those conditions and really come to battle. And
that kind of been historically your team is, like I said, over these 8 years, how you've been able to accomplish that?
Yeah, and I feel like in the conference tournament, they've just culminated up with their fitness and their toughness, and but these have been battles. I mean, every year. I mean, this last match, we were losing for 3.5 hours. These have been tough, especially the final match.
They always are. They always are. Additional congratulations to you being named the Southland Conference Coach of the Year for the unprecedented 9th year in a row. Here's $1 million question. What's the secret to the success?
That one I'm really certain of. It's the culture. We have a culture of high character players. Only former players are assistant coaches, so they don't just know our culture, they live it. It's who they are. And these pillars, high character players, outwork everybody, really make the team a family, and dedicate yourself to really controlling the things you can control, the hydration, the nutrition, the athletic discipline lifestyle. It's not coach of the year, it's staff of the year and group of the year and culture of the year. I'm just a part of that.
Well, done exceptionally well, no doubt. To be an Islander tennis player, as you mentioned, there are certain expectations of commitment to the team and to themselves. Tell me about the path that senior Peter Nagy took in becoming the model for those expectations.
The things we just talked about, he has just been a superstar at those things. He might be the best I've ever coached at just being disciplined and committed, at being extremely disciplined to the athletic discipline lifestyle. I mean, the guy's changed his body. You saw him when he came. And now the guy he's gained 12 pounds of muscle. He plays the game with so much more leverage and a low base. But he also became a leader, and that's where that family culture comes in. Guys like Laurent Montoisi, Gergo Windinger, Jose Zunino taught him, hey, it's not just enough to be a great player. You got to be a great teammate. You got to be a great leader. And that's good for your life. And I'm so proud of the way he's risen up in those areas.
Well, individual players aren't perfect every time out. And the conference tournament final is a prime example. Peter lost his first tournament match in his career.
Yeah.
But were we doomed? No. We never forget that each line's value is 1 point apiece,
Right.
whether it's number 1 or number 6. That day it was somebody else's turn to shine.
Yeah, it was the way that match ended. I mean, we're in the Lions' Den. We're at Lamar. It's the best team they've ever had. Not only are they very good, but they are really talented. And if they're on, watch out. Every team that we scouted them said, if they're on, watch out. They are very dangerous. And they were on. They had a couple hundred people screaming for them. Great community from Beaumont. Corpus is the best, but I have a lot of respect for Beaumont. And we lose 4 match points to lose a doubles point. Peter loses, and this is not looking good. And Ricardo Mayagoitia, with all of his fitness and his extras and he had trained all year for that moment. He had done extras an hour, 2 hours every day beyond practice for that moment. And in that moment, his legs stayed strong, and the other guy got tired, and Ricky was a bull till the end.
You know, you don't have the same group of robots out there. Can you tell me something unique about each of the men's players and why they fit together?
Yeah, the common bond is that they're going to be a family, and they're going to be committed to extreme hard work. They're going to play hard every time. That's another pillar. But, you know, Peter is from Hungary. His dream is to play Davis Cup for Hungary. His parents are tennis coaches. And so for Peter, fulfilling his dream of pro tennis and Davis Cup really drives him. Ricky feels exactly like Peter. He wants to play Davis Cup. He wants to play pro tennis. So these guys are just workhorses. They're just gonna outwork everybody. Kevin is a super talented guy. Kevin took attributes of Peter and Ricky. Ricky and Peter have taken some attributes from Kevin. Guillaume has just risen up. I mean, he's just such a special guy in the way that he's risen up. I mean, he's become a bull. His nickname's the Bull, and he's learned to adjust to not just play power tennis, but to work points and lengthen points and play more Andy Murray style points sometimes. And then comes Javier Pujol, who's the Spanish clay court player who is just an assassin in hot, windy weather in April. He's never lost. And yet he always struggles in the indoors in February and January. And so, you know, everyone knows Javi's coming. And then Paul Cook and Arthur. I mean, here's a British guy and a French guy that are very different, and yet they've been pushing each other all year. Mitchell Cook from Australia, super high character guy. Wilkes Kaufman and Trevor, who are these workhorses with so much pride. It's the one common thing is they're all super high character guys.
Well, there will be a quiz afterwards to make sure that we kept track of all of the names, etc. Your team was ranked as high as number 40 this season. You won the HEB Invitational for the second time ever, and you've returned to the NCAAs. Now, your regional being played at the University of Texas. Can you tell me about your first-round opponent, Cal? What should you expect from them?
Very talented, big-hitting team. You know, they're a 2 seed. They're 25. Meant a lot to us. We have a ton of respect for them. We know how good they are. They're a very talented team. But for us to get a 3 seed and avoid getting a 1 seed, we know we're going to be in this match. We know they'd obviously be the favorites. They're a 2 seed, but we've worked all year for the opportunity to have a 40-60, 50-50 type match first round, because day 2 is when you get the upsets. Everyone's tired. Everyone's just played a match in 90-degree heat the day before. Cal is very dangerous. It's a very tough first-round opponent. They're very well coached with Peter Wright, but we're excited. We're excited. We get them on a hot outdoor court in a windy Austin, and you know we're hoping to get out there and move them around.
Well, finally, before I let you go here, last season your women also earned a spot in the NCAA championships, but unfortunately this season fell short. Looking at the women just for a moment here, is returning to the NCAAs a realistic option next year?
Oh, you bet. I mean, this year's Southland, there was 4 or 5 even teams with a chance to win it. The year before, there was 4 or 5 even teams with a chance to win it. The year before that, there were 4 or 5 even teams with a chance to win it. We made the finals on the year that I thought we might have been the 3rd team. We won it on the year when we were the 2nd team. And this year, when everyone probably thought we were the 1st or 2nd team, you know, we were in that pack of 5 again, and the number 4 team won it. Yeah. So it just shows the parity. I think these girls are going to go home over the summer. They have such high character and a strong work ethic, and they're all going to come back 20% better. And they're going to be competing to win it almost every year because of their character.
Well, I tell you one thing, it was a special year for you. It's not over by any way, shape, or form. Good luck to you on the weekend.
Thank you so much, Steve. Thank you.
Steve Moore, head coach and director of tennis here at Texas A&M University of Corpus Christi. When we come back, we've got a special feature focusing more on Islander tennis. Stay with us, more to come in a moment. Islander Insider continues. Welcome back to Islanders Insider. At this time, we have a very special feature focusing on Islander tennis and their berth in the NCAA championships.
Islanders men's tennis is headed to the NCAA tournament for the third consecutive year, a feat that shows just how much hard work has gone into the season for the team.
Well, the NCAA tournament is your goal in Division I, and so for this university just starting athletics 16 years ago, and to have a team make the NCAAs and get our name in that 64 draw of all Division I, it really validates your hard work.
I'm very proud of it because I'm a part of this program. I mean, everybody's working there like crazy, like during the fall, during the spring. So I feel like we deserved it, and that's just a big pride for the team and the university.
The Islanders secured a 3 seed in the tournament, so they are slated for a first-round matchup against California, a pairing that has the team excited for the opportunity.
Well, it means you're not playing a number 1 seed who's a top 16 team. Every match here is knockout round. It's going to be a dogfight. So, we certainly got a ton of respect for a top 25 team in Cal. But obviously, by deduction, we'd rather play the 25 team than the 4 team.
It's a huge difference. Obviously, we doesn't have to play the top 16 college team, which is extremely hard, and we just believe in ourselves. And the longer the match is gonna last, we're gonna feel we have a better chance to win.
Yeah, I mean, last year we played Baylor first round, and it's just tough to play a top 16 team. So right now we have a number 3 team, number 3 seed. We play number 25 California. So I think we have something to do in this match. So it's getting us more excited.
Head coach Steve Moore has strived to instill a family mentality in all of his players, a strategy that has paid off, allowing them to achieve greater feats.
Yeah, the team is so close. I mean, we know each other like we are brothers. So of course, when somebody is down or when somebody is not motivated, everybody is there just to push him like out of his limit and like bring the best out of everybody. So it helps us a lot, the fact that we are really close.
I do believe tennis is an individual sport, but in college it's more like a team sport. And just like in higher sport leagues, Spurs, Patriots, all the big teams work as a family just like us, and I believe this is one of the reasons why we can achieve all these great results.
It's a family, and high character is paramount, and it's overemphasized. And so I just feel like these guys have committed to good things, and to see us with the number 3 seed really validates that.
For Islanders Insider, I'm Teddy Medina. We'll be right back.
Welcome back to Islanders Insider. At this time, we're joined by head coach of Islanders softball, Stephanie Hughes. Coach, how are you?
Good. How are you?
Very, very good. First off, congratulations on your return to the Southland Conference Tournament. Took a lot of hard work to get there, there's no doubt. Have you reiterated to your athletes to not just be happy about getting back, but make some noise while you're there?
Oh, for sure. As a coach, I've been a part of 6 seeds that have won the tournament. So we talked about that as soon as the game was over with on Saturday, that everybody's 0-0 now. So, it's a different atmosphere, different game, and the tournament's fun. So I'm excited for it.
It is fun. Looking back over the last couple of weeks, your team needed to finish strong and did just that. You won 5 of your last 6. On the road at Abilene Christian, Game 2 might have been the most amazing and most important performance of the year, scoring 5 runs in the top of the 7th to pull ahead by 1 run. How did that win affect the team?
I think it just propelled their confidence even more than it already had been. And they're looking to themselves going, okay, we can do this. We can, and some of those runs were with 2 outs. And that was, it showed them how good they really are. And I think earlier in the season we lacked a lot of that confidence. And the talent's always been there. It's just been that confidence. And for them to get that game. And Abilene Christian's good. Their record does not reflect how good of a team they are. So, that was very important, obviously, going forward, but just for them and their mentality was huge.
Just to know that maybe the planets are lining up in favor of the Islanders
That
this
we
time.
do have good luck every once in a while, yeah, for sure.
Every so often, it does happen. You may not think that early in the year, but that time
Right,
it was
right.
fantastic. Do you feel you have some momentum going into the tournament?
Completely. And I think a lot of these teams that are in the tournament kind of clinched their spot really early. There's some teams that out of the gate were just on fire and maybe getting tired, maybe not. We turned it around early or midway through conference series and really are pushing in the right direction right now.
Is there one or more than one statistical improvement from last year's team that has been the reason for this year's success?
There's two. I think right now our final statistics came out for the Southland Conference. We're third overall in hitting right now and fourth overall in pitching. Last year we were middle to lower half of the hitting and lower half of the pitching. And we have two consistent pitchers that can really go out and make things happen. Both are in the top 10 in ERA in the conference right now. And offensively, we're firing on all cylinders. If you were to ask me one player that's really doing it consistently, I couldn't just give you one name. And, we've got two seniors hitting over 400 in conference, and that's huge.
That is huge. There's no doubt. I mentioned the stats, but it isn't always the stats. Certain intangibles can be just as important. What intangibles really stand out when describing your team?
They genuinely like each other. And for girls, sometimes
This is some insight right here
this is
to
some
the life of
insight.
girls. Okay.
The team camaraderie is huge this year, and they really get excited when someone else steps up and does a job. And on Saturday we had some kids that got to come in and get some at bats that don't normally get to, and Junior Allison Bresci got to come in and got a triple. We had a freshman, Mariah Clay, who comes in and just crushes a ball, and their center fielder makes the best catch I've seen all year.
We met with Steve Moore earlier in our conversation. The one word he keeps bringing up is culture. Mm-hmm. Establishing a culture. How important is that for you? Again, not just this year's team, but next year's team, the year's team after that.
It's huge, and I think that it's you have to have that culture of winning, and obviously Coach Moore has that, and that's something that we're trying to build on. And they had it early, and we've had to kind of rebuild as far as our team is concerned, but rebuild that culture up. And this year is the first year we kind of had all those pieces in place, and a lot of them are young pieces, and they're starting to kind of realize how important they are to our team. A Liz Carter or Brittany Morse. Sometimes I forget they're only sophomores, and they're both. Yeah, I know.
I forgot that too.
They're
till just
both
now.
really headed up a lot of our record books as sophomores, and that's something that those two are kind of building blocks of this program and building that up. But you're right, culture is huge.
3 players celebrated their senior day this past weekend. What has their impact been on the program?
Those 3, first of all, they're the first seniors that have gone through with me for 4 years here on the island, and it was one of those where when I got hired, it was, here's your team. Oh, there's 9 freshmen. Well, out of those 9, there's 3 left. And whether it was them moving on their own or whether it was other issues, these 3 stuck through some tough times. And I'm so excited to see them get to finish their career on a high note, go into the conference tournament, all 3 graduating. That's extremely important. But, to see them smiling this weekend was something that I'll never forget. I'm glad they're ending it on a good note.
Haley Galloway, Michaela Cochran, Lindsay Lyles.
Mm-hmm.
They've been special. There's no doubt. Now, conference tournament coming up. You open against the 3-seed Central Arkansas in the tournament. They were your first league opponent this year, and back in the beginning of March. It didn't really go that well, to be honest with you. But how would you describe your team then versus your team now?
Well, first of all, it was about 33 degrees and snowing, and on turf. That was not a whole lot of fun.
So it wasn't a perfect day.
Wasn't a perfect day. I don't think we were pitching particularly well at that point. We weren't hitting particularly well at that point. We are a different team. We are a completely different team from where we were back in March, and on the confidence level and our momentum level. You know, we're definitely heading in the right direction, and I don't think it really mattered who we were going to play. The girls are just extremely excited to get going and ready to go. They don't really care who's going to be in the other dugout.
Well, how challenging are the teams in the tournament this year? And plain and simple, can you win the tournament?
I think anybody could win the tournament this year. We definitely have the pitching to do it, and that's what I think is on our side. We've got to hit consistently and play good defense. But the Southland Conference softball this year as a whole has been extremely good. It's been extremely good. So there's a lot of talent, but there's also a lot of opportunities for us to go in and surprise some people.
Well, Natchitoches, Louisiana, here come the Islanders. Good luck to you.
Thank you very much.
Stephanie Hughes, head coach of Islanders softball, joining us here in the press box as they get prepared for the Southland Conference Tournament. We'll wrap things up when we come back right here on Islanders Insider. Welcome back to Islanders Insider. At this time, we want to bring you up to speed on what's next for Islanders athletics. Islander men's tennis will open the NCAA tournament in Austin, Texas, with the first round taking place on Friday, May 8th at 10 a.m. as they take on California. With advancement, the second round would commence on Saturday, May 8th at 1 o'clock as they take on either Texas or Navy. Islanders softball will travel to Natchitoches, Louisiana to play in the Southland Conference Tournament Wednesday, May 6th through Friday, May 8th. Islander track and field will compete in the Southland Conference Championships in Hammond, Louisiana, Friday, May 8th through Sunday, May 10th. Islander baseball will take to the diamond in San Antonio at Incarnate Word on Friday, May 8th through Sunday, May 10th. Then on Thursday, May 14th through Saturday, May 16th, they'll travel back to Corpus Christi to play at Chapman Field to take on Houston Baptist. Thursday and Friday at 6 o'clock, with Saturday at 2 o'clock for Senior Day. And the Southland Conference Tournament will commence for baseball on Wednesday, May 20th through Saturday, May 23rd, taking place at Constellation Field in Sugar Land, Texas. Once again, we want to thank Steve Moore, head coach of Islanders tennis, and Stephanie Hughes, head coach of Islanders softball, for joining us here in the press box today. And most importantly, we want to thank you for tuning in. For everyone here, I'm Stephen King. You've been watching Islanders Insider.